I notice that we assume that parents will know what to do when they sign students up. What could I do to make information accessible to them? Because we don't really want to read a big book of bloated paragraphs. None of us do.
Hey Leela, so great to see you again. And I'm just hearing about this guide for caregivers of budding musicians. Well, we know there's a trilogy of the teacher and the student. So, what's this for the parents?
Well, thank you, Paul, for asking. I appreciate your curiosity. I notice that we assume that parents will know what to do when they sign students up for lessons. Now, I know you have parents in your lessons, but I know a lot of teachers do not, and I don't. Parents are welcome to come, but they usually don't, and I prefer that because I think the kiddo acts just a little bit differently when the parent is in the room. But I have learned that even though I have long-term parents, I do have new parents coming in. And I have really sensed, especially this past year, that they are troubled over how this whole thing works at home. And so that's what made me think, you know what, I got to dig a little deeper. And I also listened to Christopher Fisher. He had a brilliant session on parents and how they are the secret ingredient to lessons, and it was brilliant. And he invites his parents, for pastries and piano and practice and all that kind of stuff. Like, wow, that's so cool. But in big Denver here, there's no way I could round up all my parents and have, a cheerleading session for them. So I thought, what could I do to make information accessible to them? Because we don't really want to read a big book of bloated paragraphs. None of us do. And especially parents who have just signed up their child for lessons and are also signed up for soccer and all the other kind of things. So I wanted something that they could go to easily. So that's my very long answer for the reason why. I decided I wanted something that could give them the information, and so that I could also then refer to it when parents are having questions about things. Now I feel like I have a backup, a support system myself. So yeah, here it is. It comes in a lot of different forms. I just got these hot off the press from my printer. And what is, I think, unique about these is the fact that, yes, they are nugget sizes piece of information that parents can grab easily, and they're all color coded according to the rainbow. And so the 6 sections are expectations, routine, practice strategies, holding the line, questions, and quotes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it comes this way, but because we all know that parents are on their phones, as we all are, I also have a phone version. So it just fits phones perfectly, and they can slide or swipe their way through that as well. I think both are really important. If you're on the go, then they can look at it this way. If they're at home, I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun to just put it on a long lanyard. They can hang it up somewhere, put it in the piano bench, but they can find it easily if they've got a long tag on it.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, I'm just wondering, we know all the benefits of music education for children, but sometimes the parents don't. And have you put a bit of that information in, like for example, Anita Collins' Bigger, Better Brains?
Why, I have. Because I think that's the other thing is that, we can say, hey, this is good for your child. But if I can give them some really rock solid science behind why, I think that's just going to, I hope it will develop a backbone for them so that when they are, holding the line and kids don't want to practice or whatever, they're going to remember that, hey, you know what? This is really good in the long term for so many different reasons. In fact, one of my favorite quotes, I quote from Anita Collins a lot. And well, there's a number of favorite quotes, but she talks about playing a musical instrument is a full body workout. When you listen to music, multiple areas of your brain become engaged and active. But when you actually play an instrument, that activity becomes more like a full body brain workout. And you know how much, I know how much you love a whole body experience in music as well. But just that reading that little nugget, if I was a parent, I would be like, yes, I'm doing the right thing, even though, they're late for something else and they're still at the lesson. I don't know. I kind of feel like this is going to give them, yes, keep going. This is a long-term effort. You can do this.
That's fantastic. I just think it's so critical that we are sharing that information with parents. The other one is, we've got this new breed of students. They're called Generation A. They've been here since 2010, and they could swipe before they could speak, and they are really impacted by technology, and so they actually learn quite differently to, certainly from when we went to school and when we were learning, and also when the parents were learning. So, have you got some information about explaining some of the different strategies that we might be using?
Well, I do have strategy cards for parents and also for students, and they are different from each other. I do understand this alpha generation and the fact that they'd probably rather be in front of a screen than at the piano. And I think that is probably one of the hardest things for us. So, whatever students are doing at the piano, I feel like it has to be gamified or leveled up. Okay, you did level one, now can you do level two? And so I'll go to the students first. I have an assortment of practice strategy cards. They're all color coded according to the rainbow as well. And these are also available as PNGs, pictures that you can assign in digital practice apps if you want to. I like to print them off as well. And then I give them to students as they need them. But I feel like when I do that, I'm equipping them with strategies that they can use over and over again. And I give them names. So, for instance, one of your favorite ones is work the ears, and that's in the becoming familiar section or category of these practice strategies. And so it says, listen to a backing track or video of your new piece. Listen. We forget how important listening is. And this is on a card. And then, I have a category called smoothing rough parts. Third time perfect. People have done this before. It's just on a card now, and gives the example of what you need to do. Play it 3 times. Third time has to be perfect. If it's not, do it again. So these are very concrete ways for kids to know that, yes, I achieved my goal. Just like a video game, yes, you just mastered level 1, now you're on to level 2. And then for the parents, I have a little bit of different information for them when it comes to practice, and a lot of that has to do with what science says about practice. It talks a lot about interleaving, playing something, playing one assignment, then going to do some homework, and then playing another assignment, all of those kind of things. And I feel like if parents are equipped with what science tells us about how our brain remembers things, then we can again offer them support and guidance on how they're going to run the practice, manage the practice at home.
How the brain learns is so critical, and especially that's I love whole body learning, and that strategy of using the body puts the memories in the right places in the brain for easier access. So it's fantastic. Now you've done a video of this. Let's have a look.
Oh, sure. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the guide for caregivers of budding musicians. I want to do that because there's different options for you to share with your studio families. The first one is a desktop guide, and you'll notice here that it's all color coded, and there's an introduction, an important caregiver matrix, and then it moves into expectations, the purple section, and then it moves into routine cards, which offer ideas for parents and caregivers to set up a routine of practice with their budding musician. And then there are several cards on practice strategies, and these are a little different than what the practice strategies the students are going to receive in their lessons. And then probably the most important section are the yellow cards. These help parents deal with the whining and the complaining and maybe I want to quit and all those kind of things. And it basically gives parents a backbone to stay strong when the going gets tough. Then there are questions. Would you rather take a bubble bath before or after piano practice? Those kind of things. And then there's also a number of questions to ask after a lesson besides, "How was your lesson?" Then it ends with powerful quotes from leaders in the field of music and learning and the science behind learning music. So that is the desk guide. Now, there is also another option that you can share with parents, and this is perfect for phones. And then there's another option that you can print. And I just want to make you aware of the print version will look a little different than the other version. So make sure that you share the desktop or the phone version with your parents, but not the print version. This is the one that you're going to want to share with your printers. And then there's a bonus to all of this, and that is I have added 24 different practice strategies, and they are also color coded as well. And then it comes with some instructions, guides for printing, and ideas on how you can use the practice cards in lessons. So there you have it, a quick tour of the guide for caregivers of budding musicians.
Oh, that was awesome. So, how do people get this amazing product?
Well, they can just go to lilavis.com. I do have a special coupon for any of your fans, Paul. So we'll make sure to add that in your video.
And we have added that in, Leela. Wow, 20% off the price, teachers. All you need to do is use the coupon code GUIDE2024. Thank you so much, Leela.
Well, thank you, Paul.